What's going on, everybody? This is the mostly uncut version of the police interaction we had in New York between myself, Kevin, and the Precinct 14 Police Department. Everything was going great until the lieutenant showed up and set Kevin off. I won't get into too many details about it, but you're gonna love it, so stick around. There are some stronger words in this. I did my best to edit out most of them, but if some slip through the cracks, do not hate me for it. All the stuff I edited out in this was just for personal and private reasons. No big deal, you did not miss anything. Let's jump right into it. Let me know how I did in the comments. Hope you guys enjoy.
Take your phone. You might need it to get bailed out.
Okay, do you have water? I can take some water.
We'll get you one. Just tell them why we're here.
Okay. My name is Kevin Marr, and back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, I worked for the FBI, DEA, NYPD for 30 years as a paid confidential informant. During the 70s and 80s, I was involved with the Mafia. Joey Bikini, Roy DeMeo. Do you know who that is? You Google Roy DeMeo. Can you Google it?
Right now? No.
Yeah.
Right now? No, later.
So, I have to choose my words carefully because we did find some remains. There's no statute of limitations.
You found the remains?
Yeah.
Where is it?
I'll get to that after I tell my story, mister. You don't want to even hear it.
He's not being rude.
He's not being rude. He's old, you know.
I need to know what's going on.
He's trying.
We gotta call a lot of people.
Okay, all right. And I live in California. I have a flight booked at 8:40, but I guess I'm missing that. Okay. This guy, Roy DeMeo, was a feared Mafia soldier in the Gambino crime family. You guys and the FBI linked him to 200 murders. He would dump later on. Now, this story takes place after he just killed his first victim, murdered his first victim, in July of 1973. I was working for Joey Bikini, and they said, I have to be careful. They had a 1971 black on black Lincoln Town, and they told me it was a give up, which means an insurance fraud. You dump it in water. So I had my favorite spot, which was right there in the 108 precinct, that historical building. Well, back in the 70s, they had no gates. It was filled with brush, and I used to take all those cars and dump them in that river. Joey Bikini and Roy DeMeo was there, and they paid me $500. It's recorded, right?
This.
To get rid of that car. Well, I'm gonna tell you the truth. So I did. I drove the car from Jamaica to Long Island City over here. Once I got on the van wick, it was cold. I rolled up the windows. And I smelled that smell. You know what I'm talking about, right? You ever smell decomposing butter? There's only one thing that smells. There's only one thing that smells. So the window's up. I actually tasted it before I smelled it. What the f is that? And so I smelled it. I turned around, aimed my nose at the back seat, and the odor got stronger. When I picked up that car, and we know it's that car, the glove box was broken, and they have a yellow button which says trunk release. The button only works when the car's ignition is on. That button and that switch was gone. So now I'm halfway between Jamaica and here. I'm smelling this shit. What do? I did what I had to do. I never saw a body. I took that car, and I was nervous. And what you usually do is you crack the doors, you throw it in, and it sinks pretty fast. Not in this case. In this case, I forgot to close the doors and roll up the windows. you need some milk. And I left the lights on. And usually when I would throw these cars in the water, I would have somebody outside the gate taking me back. And in this case, I had this guy wait on this side of the bridge because I didn't want anybody to know where my spot was. So the car goes in. And this is almost a 6,000-pound car. One of the largest cars on the planet. The car goes in. It goes like this. The lights are on. The trunk, it's the front of the car is this way. The tail lights are on. And this tide took it. Took it to the bridge. Took it under the bridge. Took it 35 feet past the north side of the bridge. 90 feet off the shore. How do I know this? Because after he dropped me back off in Jamaica, I came back. And the headlights and tail lights, I could see exactly where the car landed 2 hours earlier. The lights were still on. So I knew exactly where it was. And these guys go into the river on their hands and knees.
When, today?
Yeah.
Just now. This is just now.
You drivers?
Yes, me and him both dove today.
Don't interrupt me because I have ADD. Then I have to start the story all over again.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Am I-
So today they were on their hands and knees.
Yep.
Underwater.
Uh-huh.
Because they believed in me. You know, I came here back in April. I bought this $2,000 submarine and I put it in the, almost broke my neck on the rocks. Put it in and I couldn't, you could only see like a foot. And then this guy heard about me and they came up from Atlanta, Georgia. These gentlemen here are from Jersey, all professional. These are the kinds of men that you guys have in your department. So anyway, I come back 2 hours later. I see, because now I'm shaking, you know. And at this time, don't forget, I didn't know Joey Bikini was a mob guy. Roy DeMayo was not a mob guy at this time. You know who he is? Okay. They weren't, but then they became super famous for killing people, which you'll learn. So I knew exactly where that car was because the lights were on. I knew exactly where it was. So these guys, all these team, Bob out there, they just believe my story. Like I'm guessing this officer here, I'm guessing you believe me, right? Yes. Well, you don't
We're getting there.
You know what? We
get there.
You want it back? You want it back? So anyway, so now they go to their coordinates, and after 50 years of being in salt water with an 8-knot tide going through it, the car is just a pile. So how do we know it's the car? Is that your next question? How do we know it's the car?
How do we know?
Good question. But it's the one I came up with, not you. So you gotta ask these questions because you're on tape and you're gonna be looking good when this is on the this is gonna be on the news. You know that, right? So you don't have no pink handcuffs. I don't want.
Sure,
I don't want to get caught with no
promise.
pink handcuffs. So they get in there and they risk their life going under there. It's dangerous,
Yeah.
you know. And they pull up the steering wheel. And of course, I'm trying to remember what the steering wheel looked like. And he pointed out it's got a gold rim around the steering wheel. So that, okay. It's found in the exact same spot that car went down. And then we Googled
The car?
the interior. I can't talk down with the police. We Googled the steering wheel. And what did we find? No, everything was identical. That was the fucking steering wheel I drove into that river 50 years ago. So what would be the chances of that make, model steering wheel be right where I put it 50 years ago? Can you calculate that?
Maybe Google,
I don't think so.
You could Google his name.
Ooh.
Way to explain some things.
So it's
What happened?
So where were the bones?
You got the bones? Now,
now.
before I
Yeah.
say anything else, This killer,
No, I was say what,
killer
20, 30 feet downstream from you.
known
Where exactly?
for chopping up his body.
Oh, the car?
The first, see the black light right here? The first one on this side of the bridge, 90 feet out. That's where we started. And I guess we V'd off a little bit, and he hit the car. And then I started picking up car parts, and I come across this. And now what we're thinking is, because this guy that did the murder, he was known for chopping up his victims.
If you look up,
And so that's why we don't, this could be a dog bone, but we don't know.
He used to kill people in
But we
his
do know we
car,
did find the
chop 'em up
location
with
of the car, and it's dead on accurate to what he described.
He used to jump
We
on
looked it up. The steering wheel matches the 70s Lincoln Continental.
There's
But
not
that
much
was-
left.
Drunk?
This was when
There's
he
nothing
was
left of
in
this
his-
thing. I mean, it's just remains. But I mean, we know that car. That's where the car settled. You know.
Hey. Hello?
They just caught a serial killer.
See, hold that.
Island,
Yeah.
so.
Well, you know the other serial killer that I worked on? Joe Rifkin. He was working on a serial killer. You know how-
I mean, it's pretty freaking big, but I don't know how big
I don't know if
femurs
the
are.
coloration is right. You know, we're not a forensic.
Well, we're also talking 50 years, so bones are gonna discolor. And salt water, I gotta have shit growing all over it. You know.
And we have a
Hey, we'll get-
coffee.
But I'm sure they'll be able to
I have
figure
no-
out.
I can't talk to him. I'm out of spit. Are you leaving?
What?
Are you leaving?
I don't know.
No, don't leave. My keys are in that boat.
I'm gonna get you some water. We get it.
I need some water.
His water's sitting right there. We get him
What's
some
your
water.
call?
Water.
My lieutenant.
Was that the most unbelievable story you ever had?
That's
How long you been on the job?
7 years. This is
7
the
years.
first time.
Okay. I'll tell you how much I know about NYPD. You know what? On the job 7 years? What's your tax registry number? Wow. Back in the 80s, you know what they started off with? 8788. Do I know my shit? Huh? I'm gonna hang out with her. He's just can't even look at me. No eye contact.
He's on the job, man. He's got to keep his composure.
Irish. What's your last name?
Italian.
Italian. What?
My last name Italian.
Oh. What's your main name?
Your last name's Santa Maria? That's cool.
Well, I'm Irish.
I'm full Italian.
I'm just 100% Irish.
They could have never tell.
Come here, Phil. Put the camera on him.
How come?
I want to look at this guy's face. You know, first of all, I have a YouTube channel. He has a YouTube channel with like 10 million people. So you're on. You're on.
Yeah, a little off,
What you
but
think?
still. A little off on the numbers.
9.7.
My girl.
Uh-huh.
Oh, come on. You're beautiful.
I made it to 500,000, but I'm getting there.
Well, yeah. Basically,
So-
we have a car matching the description.
When they gave me that sticker,
Yeah, like he's like,
Potentially
we scanned,
remains-
yeah, we scanned it with sonar. We found a cluster of something, like that could be the car. And so we just like, okay, that's a starting point. So we just dove to it, and he hit it. And I mean, you could tell that was a car at some point, and then the steering wheel is a dead-on match to the car he's describing.
Hold off a few parts. I mean, it's a pile, a mess of car parts.
I bet if we
Half
found it
buried.
again and really start digging, we start finding parts.
I mean, it's all
Bones and
pile
stuff.
there. It's just
Missing person.
Well, today we have DNA.
Maybe it could be a dog bone, but at the same time, we know where the car is.
Yeah,
So
in its close.
that's your water. And there, you have all the water you need.
Did you figure that
Yeah, it
out?
was you.
Some? You don't have any water. Take a swig.
he's all right. He's probably got some.
Thinks I got germs. Look at him. What's your first name?
Avatar.
Altor?
Avatar.
Avtor. So how do you work? Working in 114.
I like it. It's busy.
You know?
So the detective you talked to, he's from 114th, you said.
Yeah. You know how many times I got collared in the precinct? You'll know. Why don't you run me? Why don't you run my name?
Don't do that. Then they'll be like, oh, we got to lock this guy up.
So it's 1992, right? I get drunk
What do you think with the?
in this city.
I
Come
mean,
over the bridge. I lived in Astoria.
What did they think with the?
There was a White
Can't say
Castle
anything.
on 21st Avenue,
Yep.
21st Street,
And
where the
that'll
Bel
probably
Air
take a while to
Diner is,
test, right?
right?
Yeah, I mean,
So we go
listen,
in
it
there,
could be plastic.
And I worked
you don't know,
undercover,
but
so
it's
you know
just
what a
too many,
Duke Shield is, right?
too many things.
pretty
How
coincidental.
much smaller it
Even if it's
than
not,
yours.
I mean, we know what the car is.
How many people are eating T-bones driving over the bridge?
Really?
I mean, shit, who cares? Who knows? It could be a
So I
dog
got
bone
my
that somebody threw up.
protective
But
shield in my pocket. I go into one door
I mean,
of the restaurant.
I don't know how big
Fight breaks
femurs
out
are.
outside.
Is that about right?
Fighting them.
Femur's pretty fat.
I'm drunk.
It's the only thing I could think of. There's no other
I
bones
knock
that big.
Two of them out.
and it's aged.
Video car shows
Yeah.
Is the
up.
only one you found, or is there?
I get out.
This is the only one we found. It was downstream from the car.
I see this shit. I get
But the remains that he's talking about was supposed to be in the trunk.
Yeah, Google.
So they could have washed downstream, or they could be clustered around that car
Years ago,
somewhere.
that would have been.
Yeah, we're like 50 years. That's
It's just all the coincidences, like we were just saying.
it's all lining up pretty good.
Could it be, from mistake? Yes. But it was right where he said put the divers down
And this
then
guy
the
was
steering
on
wheel,
his,
too.
the steering wheel. When we go, can you give me a picture of the Google of the steering wheel? Do you have that?
I might.
He showed me the steering wheel, and I took that one and put it right up to it. Match. See, the best thing about, I'm not going to talk.
So that's the car steering wheel, right? That, and we took. I thought I took a bunch of it. Oh shit! I thought I did. You got a picture of the steering wheel?
Yeah.
Okay. See, there's what we're looking at. So I mean, that's pretty damn coincidental. And it's exactly where he said that car settled because you can see the headlights.
So, I mean,
There's a detective he's been talking to in 114, but he doesn't remember the name. But he was pretty much saying if you can find us evidence there's a car, we'll open the case. But now he doesn't remember the dude's name, so
pull up, I don't mean to
that's all right.
show them one of his videos just so they just so they kind of understand what's going on here. A little more credibility. It'll put things into context.
Right.
Housing boy.
I mean, he's got a small channel. He's former FBI informant.
Well, if
I mean, if you do
say
history on this,
can,
it's
I can see
everything he's
it.
saying is legit. He's just super old school. That's why you pick it up on that probably. But yeah, he's seen some shit.
Lieutenant wears.
And for me to make that decision,
only one that does
it's
it
out of
is
my league. That's why
Oh, I get it. That's what we.
I'm not gonna
Captain wears one too.
call units.
He's out.
Oh yeah, I hear you. I just know I know that a detective has been informed on what we're doing. He just doesn't remember the name of him. So somebody will probably hear about it and be like, shit.
I mean, what is the next step? Can we give the bone, or how do we get that to get tested by somebody?
It all depends if it's in fact there is something, and it's depending on my lieutenant what he deems. We'll have a scuba team come out, see if we find anything, and we'll go from there.
Pretty crazy story.
That's
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
I mean, we didn't even. They dumped allegedly 20.
Yeah, he was saying like this was his favorite dump site.
But that's the one. We
That
found.
were like-
That's the one we were looking for. That would have been one.
Sweet. So is your lieutenant coming here? Or just gonna call you back? Okay. Man, I saw your look of excitement.
You guys go?
We did.
Am I cold? I cold, yes. It's a little story. You open-minded?
Nah.
Yeah, not the whole story, just the key points.
Why we here? Why we here?
I was a CI. Not a snitch.
Why are we here today?
You're here today because I was a CI. Let me tell my story my way, okay? You know what I mean? That's where you get paid the big bucks.
I don't get paid the
What
big
is a
bucks.
lieutenant making now? Like 150 a year? Yes.
300,000.
No, that's 300. I know how much it is because I know.
Go ahead, buddy. I have to go. I got a place to go.
That's better things to listen to. Okay, 1974.
He is so old school. That's why, So you like, I'm sure your lieutenant's probably gonna kill him already, but he's got a hell of a story and it panned out.
I'll show him what we
You're looking over there. You're looking over there. I'm telling you a story.
The car. Well, this is what we found.
Homicide.
It might be a femur. The guy that he's.
Go, call the FBI.
Kevin.
Go.
Kevin.
No, I'm done. I'm done. Go.
Kevin.
Fuck him. Nah, that bullshit. Come down here with your fucking. Tell me the story quick. I want to get the fuck out of here. I'm just gonna go to the FBI now.
Goodness.
That's that.
Anyway, It was nice meeting you and you, Sosa. You work for that fucking guy? Fucking keep getting an attitude like that?
Hey, psst, hey. All right. Yeah, I could give you the clip of that. I mean, obviously you understand he is super old school, and that's just, I mean, that's just how he is, unfortunately.
Okay.
But I can give you the cliff notes if you want to know real quick.
Why are we here?
We found a car in the water that he dumped 50 years ago.
Okay.
And it possibly had a body in the trunk. And we heard his story, and we came to help him. We dove today, located the actual car, the remains of it, because it's been 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
And a little bit downstream, we found a bone that could be off a steak, but it could be a human, like a femur bone. Because the guy who killed the dude that was in the trunk was known for chopping up his victims. This is all the way back in the Mafia days, so some crazy ass shit.
So 50 years ago, this happened in what
The 70s. Because his story panned out, and we found the car that possibly had a body in it.
Oh, there's no body. You found the body inside?
We found a bone that
where's
could
the
be
bone?
human. It's in my pocket. It's right here.
You told me that bone could be human.
If it is, it was a femur, and it looks like it was cut. This dude was known for chopping up his victims. So I mean, it's a crazy ass story. But if you look up Roy DeMeo, he's a notorious mobster.
Roy DeMeo is.
He's dead, but he was a notorious mobster back in the 70s, and he killed over 200 people. There's like movies and shit about this. It's the Gambino family and all that stuff. That's kind of what we're doing. It's crazy.
Why do you think that's a human bone, though?
Because suspected there was a body in the trunk.
I understand you telling me that, but where you found that inside the trunk?
It was downstream from the car.
So it wasn't in the car.
No. Now we're talking 50 years, so this could be spread all over the damn place.
But if it's inside the trunk, how can the body get out of the trunk?
50 years, there's no car left. This is just like remains.
Oh, I see what you're
axles.
saying.
There's a steering wheel. All the plastic shit's still there. You know, but like obviously the trunk is not intact anymore. So like if there was a body in there, it's gotten washed downstream, back upstream. So like I said, it could be a steak dinner. It could be a human femur. We just don't know. But his story panned out. The car is there where he dumped it. You know what I'm saying? So we wanted to get you guys involved, see what you thought. He's been talking to a detective at 114th.
And what they say?
They're interested. We misplaced his name, but he's definitely said if you can find proof of the car in there, we'll open the case.
Call that squad to see. You got the guy's name?
His name's Kevin Maher, M-A-H-E-R.
You got name, date of birth, address, everything.
I don't know all that from him. You want to get it?
I can get it. Where this car at?
It's 90 feet out. There's these black lights. These lights. There's one down, the first one on this side of the bridge.
That's this first light right here.
It's down. There's like 3 more going that way. The first one down there, 90 feet out. There's the remains of the car.
There's more cars?
No, the light. See this light right here?
Yes.
Like there's a whole row of them. The first one on this side of the bridge, 90 feet out, is where we found the remains of the car. I hope dude doesn't like offend you or piss you off. He means well, but he ain't got no damn filter.
Well, dumping cars.
Well, I mean, like I said, he turned himself around because he turned car thief to informant, you know, and then he was informant on people. It's all documented. All this shit's documented. Like he worked.
Believe everything he's saying. What are you telling me?
Everything's panning out, and you can. He has #1 bestsellers on the New York.
Books, novels written.
He does?
Yeah, he's got 2 #1 bestsellers on the
what, crimes?
His shit is his life story essentially. What's it called? Cop Without a Badge. Cop Without a Badge was one of his books.
That's crazy, but
It sounds nuts, but if you do history on this, like it's a wild story.
No one called in April.
What?
No name.
What do you mean no name?
They don't know who we spoke to in April.
Okay, so what we got now? See if we want to bring this guy to the precinct now.
I mean, we could leave it at that, and then like if we can get any more information and like any more evidence we could find, we definitely get your
You can
contact.
find a bone that I know it's a human bone. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a damn dog bone for all we know.
Oh, I know.
But it was just crazy coincidence that it was in the vicinity of this thing, and the dude liked to chop up his victims. So that's why we was like, well, we'll take it anyways and see. But I mean, he was.
Part of the squad.
Spoke to Lahara.
So 50 feet down there?
Yeah, like
This way or by the bridge or
off the bridge 90 feet that way. There's a light. What the hell they call these lights? I keep forgetting.
it's the light post. What?
Light post. Okay. Yeah, there's a light post.
The one closest to the bridge at the end of this.
Yeah. Like you get right up next to the bridge and you go out 90 feet. It's 25 feet down. There's the remains of that car.
this time.
Yeah, we swam straight out from the rocks, and we was finding car parts, and then he come across the car. You see in the tires and the axles, you know.
Everything good?
Everything's good. You just gotta.
I'm just gonna go to the FBI.
Well, it's not. No, I talked to him. It's all good. You just. It's a different world when you talk to the cops nowadays. You know,
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, what he did to me, he got the out of that car with that puss on. That triggered me. And then when I started telling what I'm telling this story, he turned like a like I was a fucking little.
Well, it's all good. We'll figure it out.
All right. So spoke to my lieutenant, spoke to the squad as well. If there is not concrete evidence to more bone,
We're going back. We're not talking.
If you do,
I don't know what to do. I'm not. So this is the way it is. This is what the law. Let me give you a little lesson. Now I don't know about that. You listen to this? That car was placed in the water. That was the crime. That's the 108 on the other side of that bridge, right? So if it was put in the 108, does that mean it's the 108's case, or does that just because it landed in the 114? Does it mean it's you, or are they going to catch the case?
above
See,
my pay.
Yeah. Listen, I didn't mean to do that, but you see what he
That is cool.
You mean?
I mean business.
He said it was Lincoln.
I came hanging out, talking to you guys.
The numbers I think matched the Atlas or something. Tires, like everything, exactly where he said, like everything fit. So I don't think
he would have did that to me in prison. I've been in prison.
But now we have a piece of bone. If we leave here with that.
But I'm older now and much
chain of evidence.
We find something
ourselves in liability.
My boss said if you find a full piece
go
or
around
something
that guy. I'm gonna
like that's hard to tell what it is. Like it looks like it could be a femur,
and just because it traveled down this
but you don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a deer. It could be anything.
I don't know.
I just want to make sure we're.
I mean, everything's on video. It's, so like.
I don't want, there's no liability for us.
I mean, we know where the car is now. So I mean, we could hit the car again and just like really focus on, like you said, a grid pattern and all that.
Patterns and all kinds of stuff, chain of, custody and.
Because there's a body back there. There's got to be a skull somewhere.
What we found
buried.
in 1 hour's
It could be. It could just be laying there.
What do you think?
Based on what I saw.
Yeah.
I'm not
Steering wheel's on top. Looking behind, it was buried flat. So
So that's what I'm saying.
So you mean buried like the
That's
car
what
is
he
still
said.
there?
If you find
Or
more evidence, then obviously we'll look more into
it almost
Right
looked like
now,
every metal part dissolved, and it was all the electronics.
That's not the one. That's
No, I get it.
that makes sense.
Well, maybe I just don't.
And then,
I
except
want to
for
go to
the
jail.
tires.
Well, if you think,
Axle.
well, then that means like you could do like a like he was saying.
I looked. I mean, if
You
it
could
was-
fan that way and fan that way because the current goes this way. It could wash them. Who the hell knows how far right now? With a little luck, we could find something.
Hey, is this guy credible or not? And that's not what he did. And he's a boss. He's not a sergeant. He's a fucking lieutenant. I expect better than my fucking. I came back here after 30 years, saw my fucking city look like China with bicycles going all around. What the? I mean, what the? Being a cop is a lot of fun. Being a cop can be rewarding. See my brother?
I'll look you up on the
Cop without a badge.
Yeah, if you go to Amazon, cop without a badge, you'll find it.
Yeah, and if you buy a book, don't buy a used one. Buy a new one because that's how I make my money.
They got audio too. You can do it while you drive it home.
Yeah.
Listen to that shit.
All right.
So we
good.
need more. We come up with more evidence. It'll be a different story.
God bless you.
Roger that. Stay safe.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Oh, excuse me. Man, thought you was gonna going to jail today. We was already figuring out how to get your rental car back.
Dude, when the guy went right there, if I was in prison, right there, he would have. I almost hit him.
Oh, don't do that. You'll be staying here a little while longer.
Where does that put us? Not to overtalk you guys. Where does that put, like?
Well, I think you should stay. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna tell you. I just want to get everything together. I want you to safeguard that stuff in a fucking bag.
Well, that's why I asked the cop. Not to overtalk you. That's why I asked the cop. I mean, is there liability issues if you take that? Is it evidence? Now it's leaving. It wasn't properly handled and documented and all this stuff. She's like, no, everything was on, police cam and everything. So the fact I even said that, that's why make sure you have this date down. You could always do what's called
Yeah,
we do an opera request for the body cams, and all that video you can get that. They have to by law give that to you. But I wanted to document it that, hey, listen, if that indeed winds up being, you know, a piece of bone, is there any liability issues for anybody
How
here,
did that go?
you know, leaving the scene
Would
with
that be something
So,
you would have did if
Do
you
you, I mean, if we take it, we're just
Yeah, I
gonna
know.
lose all that shit.
When those two cops-
Do you guys want to just
when
store it
those
away
two
somewhere,
cops-
put it in a hefty bag or something?
Now they respect
it's just crazy. Like, I
I'm
don't-
curious about that. Well, now that we,
I think that's.
I think we're still gonna head out.
That shit goes on fucking
But
YouTube.
I mean, we're gonna come back because I still want to,
Realize how big
meet up
this
with you
thing
guys and do more,
The
get
reaction might
a boat and all that
cause
shit.
big.
I mean, we could even hit this area more.
I
do
was
more
polite, I'm
extensive
telling
later.
you.
I mean, if you guys ever find yourself looking for something to do, I mean, come down here and do what you do. You might find the whole damn
Be
skeleton.
in charge.
No, but I wasn't taking that away.
mean, you definitely accomplished what
disrespect
you
everybody. The second I
came down
saw
here
that
and
prick
did.
got out of his car
Yeah.
with that fucking puss on.
I was really hoping to find like
I already knew what happened.
bone, you know, like a something.
But he even said it, or the lady said, she's like, yeah, you know, it could be a femur bone.
So we
I
can
think
take
it's a
that
femur bone.
ourselves to a lab maybe, or find.
We can find
Yes,
somebody to figure out,
actually,
like they could do a little
yes.
processing, like
That
that's
could be
definitely
us.
human.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know?
you
Yeah.
could.
So maybe
You could
we
do
could-
that.
That's the first thing that we, you know, I don't.
And use our online.
Why didn't I? Because I was mad. That's why I didn't come up with that idea.
Yep.
But he's right. The bull guy, fucking right. Can we? I mean, you could even like maybe not even give the whole thing. Shave. I don't know.
We'll figure it
Pull
out.
up a DNA guy.
I would hold on to that. You're the diver that found it. Hold
Okay.
on to it, and that way there's a little more legitimacy to a chain of custody. And
Well, now that they don't give a shit, I mean, you can take that steering wheel now and have a little memento.
Okay. but you know, they're not gonna let that thing on a plane. I only get one bag on.
Ship
Oh.
it back to your house.
So here's what we're gonna do.
We'll take it.
Take the thing.
We'll ship it
Put
to
it in
you.
a plastic box. Ship it to me. I'll pay all the shipping thing. If you've made it this far in the video, awesome. Kudos to you. Thank you so much for watching. We do have an update on this case. Kevin was able to get a hold of the district attorney and the cold case investigators right there in precinct 14, and they're taking it on. They've opened a case. They want the bone. They want to see what it is, if it's human. It is a long shot. Chances are, I personally don't think it's human, but you know what? I'm still going to send it to them, and hopefully I'm wrong, because that would be the piece of evidence that they need to really go nuts on this. So fingers crossed. I'm mailing in all the evidence that I have to the DA. They're going to investigate, see what they can figure out, and hopefully something comes of this. If nothing comes of this, though, if you know me, you know I'm not going to walk away from this. Me and Adam and Kevin, we plan on heading right back to the spot where the car is, and we're going to dive it again, and we're going to dig in the dirt. We're going to spend a lot more time. We're going to see if we can find a bone where there's no doubt that there was somebody in that trunk. So stay tuned for that. We got all kinds of cool stuff coming up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys on that next video.